Hello everyone. This is going to be somewhat of a quick video, just sharing from my experience. I'm sure if you're watching this already, you probably already have a lot of personal information. Maybe you've done your own research. So hopefully this video will help add to that. But very quickly, I think there's a difference between soulmates and twin flames. Twin flames, as I understand it, is essentially, I wouldn't say your other half, but is like an echo of you, a perfect mirror. And it's almost like we're living in Alex Gray's Hall of Mirrors, because we're all a mirror for each other. But every once in a while, there may be someone that you know that has met someone that just perfectly reflects all of the aspects of who they are. And there's also a challenging nature to that type of relationship too. Twin flames are essentially here to help elevate us individually through challenges. I know a lot of romantic twin flame connections usually wind up being missed connections, or wind up being connections that fall apart due to that challenging nature. And the reason why it's so challenging is because it's meant to force us to grow and evolve. I know that I personally have been through a lot of growth and change, usually at the most difficult moments of my life. Whether it be a loss, whether it be a breakup, a change of scenery, any sort of change really. Me being a Capricorn could be the most difficult thing to deal with. Just through a very dramatic change that I then am forced to adapt and grow and learn. Or stay stuck in the place that I was in before the experience, and that's what we call a personal hell. But the difference between a twin flame connection and a soulmate connection is, and the biggest difference is, soulmates are numerous. There is more than one soulmate out there, whereas a twin flame is usually just one. But it's a very challenging relationship, a very rewarding, but very challenging relationship. And I think part of the healing journey of the soul is to go through that challenging experience. That's why a lot of us, and this is a very difficult thing to admit to, but from my own personal experience, why a lot of us go through loss at an early age, or some sort of abuse, or just a lot of traumatic stuff in childhood. It's meant to make us grow up fast and share what we learn with the rest of the world that may be going through something similar, that can take away that feeling of not being alone. It has primarily been my main reasoning for making these videos over a year ago now. Anyway, how do we find these soulmates? Let's set aside the whole twin flame thing for a minute. It really, and it could work with twin flames too, but twin flames, it's completely out of our control, and it happens without us even trying. But that's the key to finding soulmates as well. And it is a little easier to find soulmates. The trick is to not try. The trick is to not be so obsessed with the idea of finding, because I think that when we're stuck in the mentality of lack and desire and wanting to find something, we keep resonating that lack frequency and puts that out into the universe. And so we're forever on this search, whereas all of the most amazing people, and most of them being soulmates actually, that I've met throughout my life have come into my life when I wasn't looking for someone, when I wasn't in this desire state. hoping and wishing that I could share my life with someone, just because of my family trauma, that because of this familial wound of fractured families and discord, it's been rooted in me to want to start a family of my own and start again, you know. And a lot of my relationships too, I think, like a lot of you as well, at different points in my life have reflected the different lessons that I needed to learn from my parents' relationship and my own relationship to those individual parents. Because my relationship to my mom and my relationship to my dad, very different. The pros and the cons also very different. We can learn a lot about inner child healing through our relationships. But the main trick to finding our soulmates in this life is to stop looking. That doesn't mean to stop caring or, you know, stop being open. I think the idea is to like be open. You know, we meet more people, the more we put ourselves out there, the more we decide to essentially be more open to new kinds of people, new situations. I know that there's a few people that I've met throughout my life through friends that I wouldn't have been more inclined to meet if I wasn't more open and I didn't put myself in certain situations that I wasn't comfortable with. You know, I definitely have more extrovert energy, but because of my childhood trauma, I've learned to mask that with suppression and introversion. So I still have a little bit of social awkwardness and social anxiety that's been developed through my teen years. And, you know, it's just been a long 15 years of deconditioning that. But just like anything else, whether it's your dream life, a certain job, we need to work for all these things. So how do we work towards finding a soulmate without actively wanting to find that soulmate? I think the idea is to not focus on them and to focus more on you. It's ultimately your own attraction and the energy that you put out into the world that brings the right people into your orbit. I think the easiest way to put this is think of like the person that you desire the most, or the most desirable person that you've met. And now picture the type of person that you think that they'd be attracted to. 9 times out of 10, it's normally the most actualized version of who you are. Now, instead of thinking of them, work towards that version of you. Because that version of you already know in your mind, is the type of person that's going to attract the kind of people that you want to be with, that you want to have in your life. These people aren't going to come into your orbit just because you want them to. It's more desirable to have your own thing going on, to be focusing on your own passions, your own way of expressing yourself. Because I think the majority of people are stuck in this desire state and are, you know, and not that I haven't felt this myself, but are beaten down by life and losses and expectations. At a certain point, you gotta say, fuck it. You gotta say, I don't care what other people think of me. I'm gonna put myself out there. I don't care what people think of me. I'm going to dress how I feel, or I'm going to make the kind of music that I want to make, or paint what I want to paint, or take pictures of what I want. Do what you want to do with your life, and do it wholeheartedly. That will attract your soulmate. So hopefully this video has helped you in some way when it comes to attracting the person that you're hopefully going to be meeting soon. But let's not focus on timelines either. Let's allow the natural rhythm of the universe to flow, because actually things move faster when you let go of the waiting and the anticipation. Just let life hit you. And sometimes it can be bad, but sometimes it can be really good in surprising ways. So with that said, I hope you have a good day.